an update on the ATM robbery, a man accused of sexual assault, and a heartwarming Christmas gift to a local crossing guard.
You're watching St. George News at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Amy Bennett. There's an update on the ATM robbery that took place on Monday at a Wells Fargo in St. George. Here's Cody Blowers with more on the story.
5 Texas men are in custody after an incident on Monday afternoon that began when officers responded to a Wells Fargo branch located on South River Road in St. George on a report that cash had been stolen from one of the bank's ATM machines. According to police, a service technician was repairing the ATM machine when 2 black males donning masks started yelling and pushed the tech out of the way before taking 4 cassettes full of cash and then fleeing from the scene. From there, a witness followed the suspect's vehicle into the Bloomington Hills area. Then the search continued on to Brigham Road and the Little Caesars parking lot. All 5 suspects have been arrested, and the Houston 5 have been identified by police. The first suspect, Dominic Nicholas Snell, 20, along with 31-year-old Jarvis Keith Lewis, and Justin Renard Leonard, age 37, was also captured, along with 28-year-old Aaron Taylor Adams. And finally, 27-year-old Ronald Edward Charles, who was the one who rented the passenger car the suspects were traveling in from a car rental in Texas. All 5 suspects were booked into jail in Washington County, where they remain without bond.
Thanks, Cody. In an incident on Friday, a local man was accused of assaulting and robbing a woman during an attempted sexual assault. The woman allegedly was attacked behind a rehabilitation center, knocked unconscious, sexually assaulted, and robbed of $180 and her cell phone. The suspect arrested is 42-year-old Robert Johnson. Police found him near the scene and matched the description of what the complainant had provided. He was also holding the cell phone that was stolen from the woman. Johnson is now facing multiple charges, including aggravated robbery, along with aggravated assault and rape. He's also facing charges for failing to stop at the command of police and interfering with an arrest. Johnson remains in custody without bail. A tiny home might be a smart investment in today's housing market, but not for this family who had their tiny house stolen by a thief who hooked it up to their truck and drove it away. The house was located in a gated community in Apple Valley, and a local rancher saw the house being hauled off and thought it was extremely polite of the driver to pull over on the dirt road to let him pass, not knowing that the person driving the house was pulling off a major heist. Washington County Sheriff's Office has developed several leads on where the house might be, but if you have any information on the tiny home's whereabouts, please contact police. An Enoch man has been live streaming every day since December 1st to raise funds for the Southwest Wildlife Foundation for the state of Utah. Here's Alicia Lundgren with more on the Critters Vlogmas.
Martin Tyner, the founder and CEO of the Southwest Wildlife Foundation of Utah, is currently hosting a web series on YouTube called Critter Vlogmas, set to end on Christmas Eve. Throughout December, Tyner has been live streaming daily to raise funds for the foundation. Clips from his live streams can be seen here in footage courtesy of the nonprofit. Tyner talks about his work with native wildlife species and looks back on the generosity of the foundation's volunteers, one of which may have saved his life. He'd been feeling poorly and receiving emails from concerned followers. On the day he planned to meet his doctor, a cardiologist from Florida sent him a message saying he was in dire straits. His test showed he had a serious blockage in his heart's largest artery.
The cardiologist in St. George basically told me I'm probably the luckiest guy on the planet. They called that the Widowmaker, where if that would have continued to plug, that would have probably been the end of me. And so for all that being said, we're doing wonderfully well.
A local crossing guard and die-hard Green Bay Packers fan was surprised with a Christmas gift from a weight training coach at Desert Hills Middle School. Here's Bridger Palmer with more on the story.
Crossing guard Chris Godfrey is often spotted wearing Green Bay Packers gear. One day, Carl Franke, the weight coach, noticed and used his personal connections within the Packers organization to give him a present. According to the faculty, Godfrey hardly misses a day of work. Upon receiving the gift, Godfrey said he was in shock and so happy to receive donuts and new gear.
And now to Aaron Crane to give us the breakdown of the upset that Utah Tech's women's basketball team pulled off in their last game.
You're right, Amy. The Trailblazers are on a roll after breaking 2 school records against Bethesda on Saturday. They then got the biggest win in program history, beating the Pac-12 powerhouse, University of Oregon, 92-86. The Blazers were scorching hot from beyond the arc, shooting 21 for 31 from 3. Fifth-year senior Maggie McCord led Utah Tech in scoring, putting up 24 points, going 8 for 10 from 3. The Trailblazers' next game is against Florida International. Now back to you, Amy.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. I'm Amy Bennett with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5.